The long-awaited hiatus has come to an end. What is up, people? We are back. Another edition of the Breakdown here, Loudmouth MMA Podcast Network. Max Friedman here, Trademark MMA, as you may know me, joined by my man coming at you from Maastricht, Netherlands, Marcel Dorf. What's up, Big Marcel?
Hi, man. What's up? All good. What can I say? Glad to be back. I mean, we have both some beautiful haircuts. And
yeah, we're both rocking the flow. You mentioned the Ben Askren style haircut before this phone call, but you got the big beard too. I don't know what's stopping you from shaving.
Nah, man. I mean, we have to keep it. How do you say that? We have to keep it on the same level, you know. And I mean, the beard is just fucking sexy. Let's be honest. I don't know, man.
Well, anyway, supposedly, and I'm not gonna, say the word, knock on wood here. We are back this weekend for a big UFC 249 event coming at you, Jacksonville, Florida, empty arena, the ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena in Jacksonville on May 9th, 2020. Headlined by an interim lightweight title fight. Big Marcel, the wait is finally over, supposedly. Are we getting fights this weekend? Tell me the answer is yes.
I think so.
I sure hope so. Been looking forward to this for a while. Going all the way back, like almost 2 months ago at this point, UFC Brasilia was our last event. Looking back at that, favorites went 5-5-1 for the night. If you want to go back to the stats, Big Marcel, I took that one 8-4. You walked away 7-5. I picked up a bonus with Charles Oliveira. We both hit on our underdog with David Dvorak. Both hit on our locks. Me, Gilbert Burns, you, Amanda Hebos, your favorite UFC strawweight. And that's bringing our totals this year, 57-38 for you, 54-41 for me. You got 3 bonuses. I got 2. You got 7 underdogs, right? I have 5. And, man, 7 of 8 underdogs. That's pretty impressive, Marcel.
Thanks, man.
6 of 8 on your lock picks. So you're doing better on your underdogs than your locks. And I'm 7 of 8 on my lock picks.
By the way, man, Michael Bisping had the off day, man, in that Brasilia card. He was that David Dvorak fight against Bruno Silva.
Yeah, Bulldog Silva.
Yeah, he was like, Silva won this and that, and I was sure Dvorak won that fight.
Oh, yeah, not even close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't usually bet, but I put a bet down on David Dvorak in that one as an underdog, and nice little walk away there. Well, let's before we get started here with the UFC 249 card, I want to remind everyone to subscribe to the Loudmouth MMA Podcast Network. All kinds of great content. They've added a shitload of new shows, so I'm going to try to try not to miss any here. Not Safe for Work MMA show, MMA yesterday. Last One Standing, UFC recap show, open mat, all angles, sparring sessions, the MMA takeover, the Kyle Steele show. Oh, and I almost forgot the Euro MMA Maniacs.
Just the Euro Maniacs.
We step away because of this hiatus, this unfortunate situation. What does Marcel do? He goes around and starts to join a show with some guy posing as Stevie Braveheart Ray. What is going on here?
That's your own fault, man. You should be more, how do you say that? You should do more shows yourself, man. What's up? I mean, this dude, I'm like, when can we do this show? He gives me one time to record, one. And I'm like, since you are so, how do you say that? Since you give me so many times, let's do this one, you know? And he gives me one time to record the show. That's all he has for me, just one time. And you have to think, you have to remember, in the U.S. they have a lockdown, so they are at home. But he just gives me one time. I'm not in lockdown. I just have to work, but I give him more times. He gives me one time, and I don't know why I'm signaling to the camera, because this is a podcast without film.
Yeah, just in case you couldn't figure that one out, Marcel kept putting up the single finger one over and over again. All right. We got fights on deck. This should be a fun card. We kick things off at 205 pounds. Ryan Spann taking on Sam Alvey. How is Ryan Spann not ranked? Ryan Spann's been
in my rankings, or the hardcore rankings.
Yeah, he should be. Been stellar in the UFC, and man, I forgot to pull up the odds. Dumb of me. I'll get those up for us so we can reference those. But Ryan Spann, stellar in the UFC thus far, 3-0. Sorry. Yeah, 7-0, 7 straight, 3-0 in the UFC. He's coming off back-to-back finishes of Devin Clark and Little Nog. That came off getting signed from the Dana White Contender Series, where he beat PFL light heavyweight tournament winner Emiliano Sordi. Sam Alvey, meanwhile,
under a minute, right?
Yeah, under a minute, choked him out to sleep. Sam Alvey's lost 3 straight. Clayton Abreu, Jimmy Crute, Little Nog. Crazy knockouts of Smiling Sam seem to be far in the past, Big Marcel. And the odds on this one have Ryan Spann sitting at a minus 400 favorite. No surprise there. He's a big favorite. Sam Alvey plus 325. How are you faring in this one?
Yeah, man, I just want to say I'm happy we're going to hear Hey Soul Sister when Sam Alvey enters the octagon. Let's be clear, man. I think Sam Alvey, I always like the guys. I think I saw him first in Bellator a few years ago, you know. I always like Sam Alvey, but he's not going to win against Ryan Spann. Ryan Spann is probably one of the future top 10, top 15 guys in the division. He should have been there actually in the top 15 already. Why are you looking so difficult, man? I mean, do I look weird to you? Yeah,
no,
probably.
I'm just trying to adjust the window so I have the odds up as well.
Okay, don't do that again, please. So Ryan Spann, I'm taking Ryan Spann via a knockout in the first round.
I got to favor Spann to avoid the big shot. Finds a way to get it done. Spann, knockout second round. So, all right. Featherweights on deck between Charles Rosa and Bryce Mitchell. Rosa's the minus 135 underdog. Bryce Mitchell at a Arkansas minus 155 favorite. These two were angling respectively for a fight via Twitter. So looky here, we got ourselves a matchup. How about that? Thug Nasty Bryce Mitchell, 12-0, 3-0 in the UFC, coming off that twister submission win over Matt Sales. That was his first UFC finish. Rosa, meanwhile, returned from the lengthy layoff and some lingering neck injuries. He submitted Manny Bermudez with an armbar in a fight he was badly behind in, and that was in October. Now he's 3-3 in the UFC. He is from Boston, but trains at American Top Team in Florida, and now sits at 12-3 as a pro. Mitchell, currently the minus 155 favorite. Rosa, plus 135 underdog. How do you see this one going, Marcel? As he takes a big sip of Rockstar Energy or whatever that is. Monster.
So, yeah, I'm very glad you asked me this one first, because this is probably one of the hardest ones to pick you over here, and that's probably why you asked me first, because you're a total dick.
Hey, you want my pick for it? I'll take my pick. I'm confident on this one.
Yeah, then go with your one first, man.
Yeah, Mitchell's the better fighter right now. I know Charles Rosa got a big win last time out, but I got to go Mitchell here. Unanimous decision.
Okay, good. So, of course, I didn't mean he's a dick, but he knows what I mean. I mean, I could have called him a cunt, but that would have been a little bit mean for me. So it's all good. Look at you guys should see his face, man. It's awesome. But yeah, it's. I think it's a great matchup. Actually, I mean, Charles Rosa, he got that. In my opinion, a surprising submission win over Manny Bermudez. Maybe not a surprising win, but the submission was pretty surprising to me. Before that, he lost against Shane Burgos in a fight of the night. Great fight was that, and where he was doing pretty well actually before he got stopped. Bryce Mitchell, we all know that against Matt Sales, oh my God, I forgot the name. What's the name again? Twister, yeah, exactly. Great submission, and he's still undefeated. Although his UFC record says 11-1, I think, because the UFC also counts the semifinals of the Ultimate Fighter, which nobody else does. So he's undefeated. Bryce Mitchell, I take him via unanimous decision, but don't put your money on it. This is a very close fight, in my opinion.
We'll see. All right. Moving things along. Welterweights on deck. Fun welterweight scrap here. This is a rematch from 2017. Vicente Luque is sitting at number 13 in the rankings. He's minus 290 favorite. He takes on Nico Price, the plus 240 underdog. First matchup won by Luque via submission. I believe it was an anaconda choke. Luque comes in off a loss to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. That snapped a 6-fight win streak, but he's been terrific in the UFC, training at South Florida at Hard Knocks 365, Sanford MMA. Nico the Hybrid Price, fan favorite out of Florida in Futures MMA, 6-3-1, no contest. It was a win in his UFC career. No fight has reached the final bell. He's alternated wins and losses in his last 4, but he's coming off that awesome upkick knockout of James Vick in Tampa. Price originally lined up to go in Portland against Muslim Salikov. Meanwhile, Randy Brown was set to take on Vicente Luque. Somehow these two get matched up, and now what are we going to have, Big Marcel?
Man, I love both guys, man. I think Nico Price, he's so entertaining. Man, I saw a tweet about this. This is actually pretty funny. I had me whirling over my back. The guy said, "Tell me a fighter who never pulls out." Who never pulls out. And somebody said Nico Price, and he posted a picture with Nico Price and his family.
He's got like 5 kids, yeah.
It's the best thing ever. I even think Nico would have appreciated that. But yeah, Nico Price, like you said, very entertaining fighter. Always comes to scrap. He's also pretty good on the ground, but his stand-up is just very entertaining to see. Vicente Luque, I think Vicente is more a technical fighter than Nico is. Nico is a little bit of a wild guy sometimes, and Vicente, solid ground game, good stand-up game. Was outclassed against Stephen Thompson, in my opinion. Has to do a step back now in the divisions because he didn't want that fight. But I think Luque is too technical for Price, and if Price gets wild, he can get the early knockout maybe. But Luque, I think he stays in this. He stays in the outside of the striking range of Nico, and I see him winning this fight, unanimous decision win.
I got Luque knockout in the second. I agree with everything you said. Nico Price is fun to watch, but can be a little bit wild, and Luque is very clean, very technical. I think he's got a lot of power in those hands too. All right, we move things along to 185 for this one. The number 14 ranked light heavyweight, Ronaldo Jacare Souza, currently the -130 favorite against the 10th ranked middleweight Uriah Hall. Jacare. Actually, you know what, Big Marcel? Why don't you kick things off here?
So, Jacare Souza, like we all know, great jiu-jitsu, overall great fighter. He lost his last 2 fights, a unanimous decision loss to Jack Hermanson, and a split decision loss to Jan Blachowicz in one of the worst fights of 2019. For that, a win against Whiteman. He lost the first 2 rounds, but he came back, and the Gastelum split decision loss in the fight I thought he won, but that's just my opinion. Uriah Hall, on the other hand, surging middleweight guy. I mean, he won a split decision against Antonio Carlos Jr. last time out. I thought Carlos Jr. won that fight. Bevon Lewis, he lost the first 2 rounds, but he came back with a sick knockout punch in the 3rd round. Before that, losing to Paulo Costa, but he had Costa in trouble. It's a hard fight to predict, actually, going with Hall's knockout power and the chance to stop the fight, or going with Jacare's submission game, being able to go 3 rounds. I think Jacare should still be ranked higher, but he went to light heavyweight, and that's why he's not in the middleweight that higher, even not ranked in the middleweight division. I think he should win this fight probably against Hall, and I'm taking Jacare Souza if I had a unanimous decision.
Yeah, Hall needs to land on his feet to win in this one, but I can't see him avoiding takedowns, and I think if he gets taken down, it's not going to end well. So give me Souza by submission, 2nd round, Kimura. All the way down to 115 for this next one. Carla Cookie Monster Esparza, currently sitting at 7 in the strawweight rankings, takes on number 8 Michelle Karate Hottie Watterson, who is +140 underdog. The Cookie Monster versus Karate Hottie, major veterans of the sport here. Esparza, the one-time UFC strawweight champion, the inaugural champion, in fact, comes out of Team Oyama. Tons of male talent at the lower weight classes over there. She's 15-6 as a pro and enters on back-to-back decision wins over Alexa Grasso and Verna Yandi Roba. Watterson is 34-17 as a pro, and coming off a loss to Ioana Jacek, that snapped a 3-fight win streak. According to Vegas, Esparza the slight favorite, minus 160. Karate Hottie, plus 140. I'll tell you what, Marcel, I'm going to go ahead and favor Esparza to score with the takedowns and eke out a decision, but could go either way. I'm taking Esparza via split. What do you got?
I'm very confident in my pick, to be honest. When I saw this fight made, I wasn't happy because I'm a huge Karate Hottie fan. Who doesn't love Michelle Waterson, right? And Carla Esparza, she's just relentless in her wrestling, and also her striking has become better in our last fights. Only got pretty much dominated by JJ and by Tatiana Suarez. All those other fights where either she was dominant or were competitive. Her split decision losses against Marcos and Gadelia were competitive. Actually, people actually might think she won those two fights. So. And on the other end, people thought Grasso maybe won her fight against Esparza. So they were all competitive. She got a win against Verna Jandiroba, who was undefeated, Invicta champion. And that's a pretty big win. People probably don't count it that much because Jandiroba is pretty new in the UFC. But it was a big win for Esparza, in my opinion. We got Waterson. The thing with Waterson is, if there was an atomweight division, she was probably top 3. But she's just... She can't really hang with the top of the strawweight division. And as far as still the top, I don't know, but I think she's still better than Waterson overall. And that's taking Esparza via dominant unanimous decision. And breaks my heart to say.
All right. Well, so far, Big Marcel, we have a total of 0 differences, but that's okay.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Plenty of events to come. All right, heavyweights, the return of Fabricio Vi Carvalho Verdum. He is the minus 330 favorite over Alexei Olenek, who's the plus 270 underdog. This is a battle of 42-year-old men here in this one. Verdum, the former champ, lengthy hiatus following a USADA suspension. Do you know, I believe this is the last fight on his contract. I will need to double check that, but I feel like I read that somewhere.
You tell me. I don't know.
All right, never mind. 23-8 as a pro. Comes off a TKO loss to Alex Volkov back in March of 2018. Prior to that, he had won back-to-back fights over Marcin Tybura and Walt Harris. Olenek, man, this guy's a hard guy to pick in fights. He seems to win fights that he shouldn't. I've had a hard time picking for/against him. I took both Overeem and Walt Harris against him, though. I knew those would be absolute shellacking, so I picked those two right. But the other ones with him, I picked Mark Hunt over him. I picked Maurice Green over him. I picked him to beat Daniel Omialanchuk back in the day. That didn't pan out well. So I have not done well historically picking Olenek fights, but comes off that win over Mo Green via submission. Nice little armbar in that one. Marcel, Vegas is heavily favoring Verdum. Do you see him getting it done here?
Talking about always bad picking, I have to give you a big shout out for picking Nikita Krylov against Johnny Walker in the most recent UFC event. I gave you a lot of shit for that because you always picked against Walker and you always were wrong. This time you were right.
Fourth time is the charm.
Yeah, this time you were right, and it was a solid pick, man. Very, very great. And also shout out to Davidson Baker for that one. He knows why. So you also know why, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This is pretty easy, actually, in my opinion, man. I mean, Olenek's strength is a submission game. Verdum is probably the best submission guy ever fought in the heavyweight division in the UFC, arguably, along with Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira and Frank Mir. Verdum, submission, second round.
Yeah.
You don't lose the skill when you're 2 years off in your submission game. Plus the fact that
level of practitioner.
Yeah, plus the fact Olenek is as old as him, also gasses and fights. I mean, Verdum all the way.
Having a hard time taking a punch too, and I think Verdum actually gets a knockout in this one. Give me Verdum via TKO early in the second round.
Go horse.
All right. How you gonna give us a Fabricio Verdum face right here?
I can't do that.
You can't do it? I can't either.
No.
All right, headlining the prelims, we got a fight at 170 between the number 6 ranked lightweight Donald Cowboy Cerrone and the number 15 ranked welterweight Anthony Showtime Pettis. Pettis, the slight favorite, minus 135. Cowboy sitting at plus 115. It's kind of weird to see these guys match up because A, they've already fought. B, and they're great friends outside the cage and have trained together on many accounts. So I was kind of interested. I was, it was something to see them booked again. Cowboy, not a lot of momentum on his side. 3 straight losses. Tony Ferguson, Justin Gaethje, and most recently Conor McGregor in January. 36-14 as a pro, 37 years old. Pettis comes into this one off losses to Nate Diaz and Carlos Diego Fajea. Won their first meeting via TKO in 2013. Big Marcel, I don't know if we're going to be split on this. I've kind of initially thought I knew what your pick was going to be, but now I'm second guessing myself, so I'm going to let you go ahead.
I mean, both guys are not really doing well right now. The thing is, those are fighters who can have a good day and have a bad day. Very inconsistent right now. I remember when Pettis was the champ, people were like, he's going to be the biggest thing ever, and he's going to be a double champ, and he's going to reign for a very long time. And then out of a sudden, there was Rafael dos Anjos,
Shut him out.
Yeah. All respect to Pettis, by the way. I think he's a great fighter. Donald Cerrone. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, his last fight against Conor, I'm not buying too much into it because we both said it was going to happen. So I wasn't surprised at all. And it's not because I'm a huge Conor fan, but everybody could read that fight, in my opinion. Taking Pettis, man, unanimous decision. I actually have no doubt.
I'm taking Cowboy, unanimous decision. I just don't think that Pettis, with the nasty body and leg kicks and all the lethal striking tools that he sometimes have shown in the past, is still there. So I got Cowboy getting it done. You're taking Pettis via unanimous decision. So there we go. We got one difference, and that is the first underdog being picked by either of us, and that is by me that on that one. Heading to the main card here, and we start things off at heavyweight. Greg Hardy is the minus 200 favorite against Yorgan De Castro, the plus 170 underdog. This is heavy-handed heavyweights throwing down here. Hardy is 5-2, 2-2 with 1 no contest in the UFC. Recently put up a valiant effort against Alexander Volkov in the main event last year in Russia, but lost a decision. Prior to that, he had sort of won 3 straight, one flip with the inhaler. All kinds of controversy surrounding his career thus far, both in the NFL and the UFC. Yorgan De Castro came to the UFC after taking out Alton Meeks on the Contender Series, won his UFC debut, devastating knockout of Justin Tafa. Big Marcel, De Castro and Hardy, who are you taking in this one?
Yeah, it's a weird fight, to be honest, man. I mean, Greg Hardy, first of all, before I want to do this pick, I want to know, is it legal in Jacksonville to use an inhaler? I mean, those are some real important things to know before you make this pick. I don't think it is. So it's a 50-50 fight for me. I think if Jordan can land the early bomb, he might take it. If he can't, I see Greg Hardy winning a decision. I'm taking Yorgan De Castro via knockout in the first round. And he has to knock him out, I think, to win this fight. So I'm 50-50 on it. And if I'm 50-50 on a fight, I'm taking who I want to win. So I'm going with Yorgan De Castro.
Yeah, I like De Castro's offense. I think he's more technical. I think he's ready for this fight. I think he lands and the leg kicks and TKOs Hardy out, either with a big bomb or a leg kick or something nasty. So I got YDC as well, TKO early second.
YDC, oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I wasn't even planning on calling him that, and I wrote it down in my predictions for my notes as YDC, so then I just said it.
Why DC? Why?
Why, Daniel? Why? Featherweights. Calvin Kattar and Jeremy Stevens on deck. Number 9 in the rankings is Kattar, but he's the minus 250 favorite. Stevens is 7 in the rankings, plus 210 underdog. Lil Heathen, longtime UFC vet, both at lightweight and featherweight. Been around the UFC since 2007. He is on a 3-fight losing streak, though. Jose Aldo, Zabit, and Yair Rodriguez. He's been with Alliance MMA for a long time. We know the book on him. He just comes forward. He chucks leather. Calvin Kattar, meanwhile, is 20-4, 4-2 in the UFC, coming off a main event loss to Zabit Magomed Sharipov. But lots of controversy there. 3-round main event instead of 5, and many believe Kattar was in control at the end of that fight. He trains at Lozon MMA with Kyle Bochniak, Rob Font, Devin Powell, Joe Lozon, Randy Costa, a host of others at 135 and 145. I'll go first here, Big Marcel. I think Kattar's one of the most technical punchers in the division, and I think he gets a finish here. Calvin Kattar TKO in the second round.
The thing, kind of bothers me with the Kattar Magomed Sharipov fight. I mean, listen, guys, it was a 3-round fight. Y'all can say Kattar was taking over in the third, which is true, but it were 3 rounds. So he should have done more in the first 2 rounds. We can keep discussing this. Sabit won the fight. I mean, if it was a 5-rounder, yeah, probably Calvin could have taken over, but who tells me Zabit would have fought different in a 5-rounder, But, what can we say about it? Calvin Kattar, great fighter. If you want to see a great fight of his, Andre Fili, Shane Burgos, knockouts against Lamas and against Chris Fishgold, all great. I'm taking Calvin Kattar here, man. I mean, would I be crazy not to? I mean, I took Stevens in his last fight against Rodriguez. I still don't regret it because that was a good fight. And I would have probably picked Kattar to win against Jair Rodriguez. So I'm taking Kattar.
Me too. All right. Heavyweight showcase on deck here. The number 2 ranked Francis Ngannou taking on the number 6 ranked Jairzinho Rozenstruik was supposed to be the main event of UFC Columbus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Columbus. Absolute banger of a fight. Ngannou, 3 straight wins in a combined 3 minutes and 22 seconds. During that time, he took out 2 former champions and Curtis Blades. He's been calling for a title fight. Instead, he gets the slot against another heavy hitter, Rozenstruik from Suriname, training at Hard Knocks 365/Sanford MMA, is 10-0.
American Top Team.
Oh, is it American Top Team now?
Yeah, he's American Top Team now.
Jumped in a UFC main event against Alistair Overeem and knocked him out at 4 minutes and 56 seconds of round 5 in about. He was likely going to lose had that gone the distance. But now 4-0 in the UFC, 4 finishes. Big Marcel, does Rozenstruik stand a chance in this one?
Everybody stands a chance against everybody, but I don't know, man. I mean, Francis Ngannou has a knockout power, has good cardio, is pretty decent on the ground. Rozenstruik,
and he's just a physical specimen.
Absolutely, man. Rozenstruik, he's not good on the ground. He's a nice dude. I talked to him twice, but he's not good on the. Yeah, but he's not good on the ground. We saw that Junior Albini took him down and he couldn't get up. Overeem dominated him on the ground, and he got that Hail Mary knockout in the last 3 seconds. Otherwise, he would have lost. Listen, people will get pissed because over here in the Netherlands, many people are supporting Rozenstruik, and I do as well. He's a great dude, but he's not getting past Francis Ngannou. I'm taking Ngannou via first round knockout.
Me too. Co-main event time. We got a fight for the UFC Bantamweight Championship. Henry Cejudo, the minus 225 favorite, against the returning Dominic Cruz, sitting at plus 185 as the underdog. Cejudo originally lined up against Jose Aldo at, I believe, UFC 250. Lots of questions out there. Somehow Aldo at first got the nod over Aljamain Sterling, Piotr Jan, Marlon Moraes, Corey Sandhagen, a list of many others. And now the same thing happens, and it's Dominic Cruz getting the same opportunity over those guys. Cejudo, though, captured that title in June 2019. He beat Marlon Moraes, nearly a year since we've seen him. Cruz has been out of action since he lost the title in December of 2016 to Cody Garbrandt. He is the former 2-time UFC Bantamweight champion. Were you surprised to see this booking, Marcel?
It doesn't make sense, but I'm not surprised. I mean, this time they will probably say, yeah, but it's in the pandemic and not everybody can fight, But let's be honest, man, it doesn't make sense. Even if it's Cruz. Cruz is, in my opinion, still the GOAT of the bantamweight division, but if you haven't fought for 3 years and you lost your last fight, you shouldn't get a title shot, in my opinion. But hey, who am I? You know. What do you think?
Who are you? You are Marcel Dorf, the postman in the Netherlands.
Okay, thank you. So what do you think?
Yeah, nah, I don't think he should have gotten the title shot by any means, but excited to see him back in the cage, but I don't think it makes a difference. I got Cejudo decision.
Same. Nothing more to add. But the thing is, Dominic's getting older as well, and he always says I don't believe in ring rust, but when you're getting older, man, it's not getting any easier, I think. So yeah, so probably Cejudo, and Cejudo probably will call out Aldo after the fight, and after he fought Aldo, he will call out Uriah Faber.
Then after that, maybe like Brad Pickett or some other kind of
I don't know, man.
135 pounds veterans.
I have the feeling the UFC owes Cejudo something.
John Dodson,
Yeah, but don't you
Demetrius
think
Johnson.
don't you think the UFC owes Cejudo something, man? Because I have the feeling like they told him like we're gonna strip you from the flyweight belt, and instead of that, you can choose your next opponent at bantamweight. And he's like, give me Aldo.
Must have
It's like,
been some under the table
yeah, I
nonsense
don't
with
know.
Eric Albarracin or something like that.
I have nothing against Cejudo, by the way, but please, man, just fight legitimate contenders.
All right. Well, there's no arguing that we have two legitimate contenders in the main event. The interim lightweight title fight. This was the fight to make. Tony Ferguson, the number one ranked lightweight, taking on the number four ranked lightweight, Justin Gaethje. Ferguson, the minus 180 favorite. Gaethje, the plus 150 underdog. For the fourth time, Khabib Tony does not happen, but we prevail on. Tony Ferguson is 25-3 and is on a 12-fight win streak. He is the former interim lightweight champion. Comes into this one, back-to-back wins over Cowboy Cerrone and Anthony Pettis after getting stripped of that interim title. Gaethje, meanwhile, has 3 straight finishes heading into this one. He's ready for a massive opportunity here. Big Marcel, Tony Ferguson, Justin Gaethje, the main event, 5 rounds, 155 pounds, interim lightweight strap on the line, and go.
Yeah, this fight is probably much closer than people think. I think Tony Ferguson he's on a 12-fight win streak. I think absolutely crazy. Only lost in the UFC against Michael Johnson. He always fights like crazy, man. He gets tagged, he gets dropped, and he's gonna do some front and back flips to to get his win back. Justin Gaethje, we all know how he fights. He's like 6 UFC fights and 7 bonuses. Absolutely nuts. Great fighter. Very fun fighter to watch. Man, this is a 50-50 fight, man, because if Justin can crack Tony, Tony is in big trouble, I think. But on the other hand, Tony's ground game is solid and good. Stand up as well. Justin has a good wrestling background, I know that, but I think Tony is better on the ground, in my opinion. It's a hard fight to pick, but I'm going with the safe one, and I probably don't have any underdogs, or maybe only Jorgen De Castro, but I'm taking Tony Ferguson in this one via a unanimous decision.
Yep. Yeah, I can't see Gaethje landing that bomb. I think Ferguson does Ferguson things for 5 rounds, but I think it's going to be one heck of a fight. So I'm quite excited about it. I got Tony via decision as well.
I'm so excited.
Bonus time, and I'm up first. Fight of the night, main event, no questions asked. Who is your fight of the night, Marcel?
Then don't ask any questions.
All right.
It's pretty obvious, right?
Yeah. All right. How about performance of the night bonuses? Hand out your official 2 and then your backup 2.
Going with Francis. We're going with this is difficult. I'm taking Verdun.
I'm going. Sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
And my backup, Cater and Jorgen De Castro.
Okay. I'm going Francis and De Castro, YDC. Backups will be. Let's go Ver, Verdum and Ryan Spann.
Nice.
All right. Underdog pick of the night. I got two options between DeCastro and Cowboy. And I know because you have a default option, but that's my more confident underdog pick. So I'm going DeCastro, and so are you.
Yeah, man. Why not?
All right. Give the people a lock of the evening.
Oh, man. Verdum.
Going Verdum. I will go. Man, that's tough. Ngannou.
Okay.
All right, so let's just recap and we can get out of here. Both taking Ryan Spann over Sam Alvey. Both have Bryce Mitchell over Charles Rosa. Both have Vicente Luque over Nico Price. Both have Jacare Souza over Uriah Hall. Both taking Carla Esparza over Karate Hottie. Both taking Fabricio Verdum. I'm taking Cowboy Cerrone. Big Marcel's got Anthony Pettis. That will decide the evening for us. Both got Yorgan de Castro upsetting Greg Hardy. Both have Calvin Cater. I'm taking Ngannou. We're both taking Ngannou. What am I saying? Both taking Henry Cejudo to retain the bantamweight belt against the returning Dominic Cruz, and both taking Tony Ferguson in the main event. Both taking Ferguson Gaethje as the fight of the night. Performance of the night bonus winners for Marcel are Ngannou and Verdum. I got Ngannou and DeCastro. His backups are Cater and DeCastro. Mine are Verdum and Spann. Underdog of the night, we both got Yorgan DeCastro. And locks of the night, Big Marcel's got Verdum. I got Ngannou. That's the UFC 249 card. Marcel, close us out with any final thoughts, feedback, plans for the weekend, what have you.
No plans, man. I mean, who has plans right now?
Yeah, no kidding.
Enjoy the fights, guys. I mean, got some fun cards coming up, and stay safe.
Stay safe. Thoughts out to everybody who's been impacted by coronavirus and COVID-19. But yeah, hopefully this thing goes off and we'll be locked and loaded. We got 2 events next week, so we got to figure out a time where Marcel and I can knock those out. But yeah, man, it's good to be back.
Definitely, man. I'm happy we are back, and I hope we can keep doing this. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, maybe some old guy from 80 years old that walks in the Five-Star Veterans Memorial Arena and it's canceled again. So I don't know. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But you never know what's going to happen. I also think people are asking why there is no how do you say that? There's no embedded. I mean,
you want to be far away. Quit getting ahead of yourself.
Yeah, I mean, what they're not going to do embedded for 2 reasons. One, they probably don't have much to shoot right now, and 2, why they should film something backstage which can get them in trouble, you know. So
man, people are crazy on Twitter.
Yeah.
I enjoyed someone responded to you. It was like about the fight announcement for Mowgli Benitez and Omar Morales, and they were like, "Hello, Marcel. How are you doing? Where did you see this information?" And then explained how Morales is a big lightweight, Mowgli very small. I'm curious to where this came from. Somehow got that all in 140 characters.
I was polite, man. I don't mind. I give a nice answer if people are nice to me, so it's all good.
Yeah, but
it was UFC official, so.
Yeah, where can the people find and follow you, Big Marcel, if they want to interact on Twitter with the great mind?
Big Marcel 24, Twitter, Instagram, and MMA DNA.nl, so MMA DNA on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Mostly MMA DNA. The account is mostly rolling on Facebook.
Yeah, well, you won't be disappointed if you follow both accounts there. Always some great fight announcement, fight news, covering all of European MMA. Big Marcel, what do you think is going to happen with the Contender Series, by the way? Have you seen anything?
No, man, but I'm hearing they want to do it, so I hope they're going to do it. I mean, what's a summer without the Contender Series, you know? So I mean,
keep it small and they'll be fine.
Yeah, my Tuesday nights are boring, so
yeah, I always enjoy the nice Tuesday night Contender Series, maybe some ice cream.
Yeah, as long as it's not 5 decision fights, because at the last year, the second week
Yeah.
with Baeza and Miles Johns, that was like on until 5 a.m. in the morning over here, and I had to go to work at around 10 a.m. So that wasn't ideal, but I always enjoy it, man. And yeah, let's go.
You can find me on Twitter, Trademark MMA. A reminder to subscribe to the Loudmouth MMA Podcast Network. Get all the great content, but I'm not sure about that Euro MMA Maniacs. You know, I don't know about that Stevie Braveheart Ray guy, so I don't know if I trust that show yet.
And you still pronounce the name wrong.
Euro Maniacs.
Just Euro Maniacs. The second M is quiet.
Thank you, everyone, for subscribing.